Hello guys, my name is Aman Ahmed. I am from Faculty of Law, University of Delhi, second year, and I am currently an interning under Lexis and Company. So the topic of today's video is the concept of plaint under Civil Procedure Code. So the concept of plaint is given under Order 7, Rule 1. So if we are drafting a plaint, we have to draft it like a story. We have to mention each and every ingredient on which the code will decide which points are relevant. And if the given criteria in the CPC is met, then only the court will accept it as a valid plaint, or not it will reject it, or it will ask the plaintiff to make the recommendation and refile the plaint. The first stage is the plaint, and after successfully filing the plaint becomes a suit. So the basic ingredients or the procedure that we can say that the plaint has to meet in order to qualify as a plaint are: first, the name of the court should be mentioned at the top. Second, the name of the plaintiff, some of their details like the residence, the additional info of the patient like the phone number, fax number, or the permanent address. Secondly, the same goes for the defendant, the residence and the additional info. Next detail is if there is any disability in the plaintiff of any sort. For example, is a minor or an unsound. For the law prescribes for the such type of plaintiff, a guardian should be appointed, and he should be named in the plaint as well. So if there is any such situation like that, it should be mentioned in the plaint. Second, the most foremost and the basic or the most fundamental feature of a plaint is the cause of action. The cause of action can be a synopsis of the problems that the plaintiff is facing or which the plaintiff will be judged upon. A good lawyer will always draft a brief cause of action. He will mention all the details explicitly, and so that it will be not a problem for the. So as I was saying, the cause of action is what a lawyer strives upon, because this thing can only be dealt by an advocate who, and a high and a good quality advocate will always fire a better cause of action. The above mentioned point can be fined by anyone, but the cause of action is something which we see how well it is drafted. So the next point is the court's jurisdiction. In short, I have to explain the court why I have approached you only and not the other court. Why, which law makes me approach you and not the other court? So we have to mention it explicitly. So, and the last point is obviously the relief. I mean, what we are actually asking the court for. I mean, the plaint is mentioning what the plaintiff want from the court. So the relief should be mentioned, and obviously, if any value is involved in the, for example, if it is some kind of property, so we have to mention the value of it. It is any taxation matter of some kind. We have to mention the value in the plaint also. So the allegation that is mentioned in this order 6 should be signed and verified. So the rule 14 makes it mandatory to sign it, and rule 15 makes it mandatory to verify it. So this is the basic thing that the court clerk will do before we are entering the court. If it is signed and verified and all the ingredients are met, it will be a successful plaint. And if the plaint is rejected, I should be told how to rectify it by the court. It is a duty that is cast on the court by the Civil Procedure Code, that we have to tell the plaintiff why it was rejected. You can't just reject a plaint left and right and not tell any reason. It's not an arbitrary, but you have to give a reasonable answer for your rejection. And the court has three options, if we can summarize it. First is acceptance, that is under order 7 rule 9. Second is rejection, that is under order 7 rule 11. And third is return the plaint, that is under order 7 rule 10. So after returning the plaint, the court has to mention the date specifying to the other court. So for example, if the it was placed under the wrong jurisdiction, so the court will specify the correct jurisdiction in the plaint and tell the plaintiff to take the matter to the appropriate jurisdiction and file it. And also the notice will also be given by the court. It is mentioned in the book. How far it is followed, I can't say. It is varied upon state, but a duty is obviously casted by the Civil Procedure Court on the court to give a notice and specify the date to the other court, so the matter would be referred to. Some of the grounds that are given in the book in order 7 rule 11 can be, for example, in ascending order, if we go by, the first is the NOS discussing the cause of action. Obviously, if the cause of action is not mentioned, or there is vague cause of action, or the judge cannot find out the exact cause of action on which the suit will be filed, so obviously it will be rejected. Second is undervalued. If it is not, it is if the plaintiff wants to take the benefit of he or he is in thwarting the course of justice by undervaluing his property. It could be for any ulterior motive, but if it is undervalued, it will be liable for rejection. Third is incorrectly stamped. So you have to properly stamp it. The stamp acts are various, and according to each states we have different stamps. So for example, in Madhya Pradesh there is a different stamp for different types of planes, and Uttar Pradesh it is a different. So you have to download the Stamp Act PDF from the website, High Court's website, and you have to see how much the stamp value is required in your particular plane. So, and if it is barred by, fourthly the point, if it is barred by law, the plaint will be liable to be rejected, or it is not filed, because a law also costs no obligation to file this in duplicate. So if you are not filing this in duplicate, it will also be rejected. And the last point is, after accepting it, the plaintiff, yeah, the plaintiff side did not comply with the plaint, then also it will be rejected. You cannot make a mockery of the court. You have to follow what you are writing in the plaint. If you are writing something and not complying in later on, that's a very serious uh, disturbance that is done by you. So the judge will not adhere to it, and he will reject your plaint under O7 Rule 11. Thank you. So this was all that I was wanted to talk about the order thing. So guys, please remember, this video does not violate any guidelines of Bar Council of India and does not solicit or promote any of the advertisement, and the sole purpose of this video is educational only. And guys, please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already to see more of this content in the future. And I'll be coming up with more on the aspects of the practical aspects of the court and how to file a plaint and something like these videos in my later videos. So please subscribe, and if you have any question regarding, or if you have any practical question regarding your problem facing in the court, you can drop the question in the comment box, and I'll sure and I will make sure it is answered. Thank you.